course here today, but I'm glad that it's not done through the enticing words of men's wisdom. I'm glad today that when Jesus came along, brother, that the religious men of that time, they began to reject him. Listen, and they said, we don't need you. We've got Abraham as pertaining to our father, Brother Fred. But listen to me today. I love what Jesus said. He said, when Abraham, when he saw my day, he rejoiced, brother. They began to wonder, and they come to him and they said, Jesus, you're not even 50 years old. How is it you say that you know Abraham? I love what my Lord said. Before Abraham was, I am, Brother George. I will introduce you to the man, brother, that holds all power both in heaven and earth, brother. And listen to me. I hope that God will bless me for a few minutes. Listen to me. You know, one day, they took my Lord and they laid him. Listen, they crucified him and they laid him in a little tomb, brother. And on that third morning, he got up. And you know what, brother? Listen, he appeared to him one evening, Brother Fred. Most of the disciples was gathered in a little room one evening, and the doors was closed and the windows was shut. And you know what? Jesus come right there, brother, and he began to speak to him. I'm glad today that little stone couldn't keep him locked inside. I'm glad today that these doors can't keep him locked down. Brother, listen to me. And you know what? There's a few disciples, at least one of them that was missing that evening. And listen, and the disciples, when they got together again, they began to tell the one that wasn't there, Brother Thomas. Thomas, we saw the man, Thomas. We saw Jesus after that he's risen. Listen, and you know what, Thomas, he began to say, I'll not believe it until I see the nail scarred and I put my finger in that hole. I'm not going to believe it until I thrust my hand right into the side where that spirit hole is. Brother, listen, you better be careful what you ask for, Brother Jason, because it wasn't but a few days later. They've all gathered together again in a little upper room, brother. And this time old Thomas was there, Brother Bill. And you know what? He came to him and he looked over at Thomas. Thomas, behold my hand. And listen, I don't know what Thomas done exactly, but I do know one thing, brother, and he hit his knees right there. Oh, my Lord and my God, listen, blessed art thou, Thomas, because you've seen and you believe. But blessed are they that's never seen, and yet they still believe, Brother Rig. Many thoughts have run through my mind, and I've wondered what else could have Jesus said right there to Thomas. I got news for you, brother, and Jesus' name is on every page. If you can't find Jesus on every page, you ain't looking just right. I'll tell you one thing here. Oh, Lord, listen. When Moses led God's children out, brother, and they came out of Egypt, and they come right there to the Red Sea. There was no going forward, brother. You know what Jesus could have said to Thomas? Yeah, I am the man, Thomas. Listen, when Moses brought my children out and come right there to the Red Sea, who do you think it was, Thomas, that told him, you stretch that staff out over the waters, brother? I got news for you. That was me, Thomas. Oh, I am the man, Thomas. I am that man. When old Noah got in that ark, and the waters of heaven was opened, and the waters began to flood the face of the earth, and that old boat, it began to lift up. I believe Jesus could have said this. Oh, Thomas, I am the man that carried that old ark across in darkened water. I am the man, Thomas, that set that old ark down, and I brought her safely down. I am the man, Thomas. Oh, Thomas, when Elijah was running from the king, and he hid himself, and he was down by a little brook there. Who do you think it was that commanded them old ravens to bring that old prophet a little meat? Oh, Thomas, I am the man that I fed Elijah when he needed it. I am the man when old Daniel was down in the den of lions. Listen, when he disobeyed the king's orders, and they put him down in the den of lions. And you know what? The next morning, brother, that old king come running over there. Old Daniel, are you alive? Was your God able to keep the mouths of the lions closed? Oh, Lord, Thomas, I am the man. You know what? Old Daniel used them cats to lay his head on that night. I am the man, brother. Listen, I'm telling you, you better meet this man called Jesus. Don't be a doubter like old Thomas was. Oh, Lord, you want your family put together. I'll tell you what, you better get Jesus in your life. Listen, this life don't carry any guarantees. Listen, everybody says, well, it ain't fair. I got news for everybody, it ain't fair. That's the way this world is. We're living in a broken world. Oh, but I'm glad that somebody much, much greater than me has got the power, and one of these days he's going to call my name. I'm going to answer that call, brother. Oh, Lord, I'll tell you one thing here. Listen, this is the way the world will work. It's contrary to God. Everything about this world is contrary to God. But that little old still voice, that spirit down inside of us, brother, it'll lead us and it'll guide us, brother Jason. Oh, I know When I first started preaching, listen, I was much younger then, and I had two little boys. Right here's one of them, and I remember I'd get up and I'd sing me an old song of Zion, and Josh, he would come running up into the stand. He had to be about 4 years old, and you know what? He wrapped his arms around my leg. Brother Jason, I don't know if you remember that or not. Oh, Lord, and his younger brother would come up and make me get him up in my arms. I couldn't hardly move around the whole time I was preaching, but I'd do the best that I could. And I remember talking to that boy, and I'd say, Bubby, I got a question for you. How come it is every time Daddy gets in the stand, you boys come running up? Oh, I remember what he said. He said, Dad, when you get started preaching, it breaks my heart in two. I got news for you. I know he is as good as God wanted him to be. But I remember thinking the thought, well, it ain't going to be long. That old devil's going to rob them of that innocence, Brother Fred. And you know what? It wasn't many years. I couldn't get him to come up and even sit by me then. But God, he's so good to me, brother. He gave him back to me. I'm on my way, brother. And I want everybody to come and go with me. This brother here brought many thoughts to my mind. You know, I was born and raised in Michigan, just north of Detroit. And I remember, listen, when I was 35 years old, I'd been in church for quite a few years, about 16 years, and I moved down into the hill country of Kentucky. And when I got down there, brother, I joined me a little church down there. Oh, Lord, and I'm going to show you how men work, and I'm going to explain to you how God works. Sometimes our religion, they can butt heads with salvation, brother. I don't know how you believe that. They ought to line up, Brother Bill, but sometimes they don't. And shame on me when they don't. Oh, Lord, I joined a little church that was in an association, and I'm not throwing off on anybody, but you know what? I started substitute teaching down there in Floyd County. I drive about 45 miles, and I was substitute teaching one year, right at the end of the school year, and I had a bunch of boys in a machine shop class. Listen, and I had them for about 4 weeks long, and one of them boys come up to me. Well, really, there's about 3 of them, but one of them was talking, Brother Jason, and he said, Mr. Newsom, we really enjoy being under you, but we've heard rumors that you are a preacher. Oh, Lord, I said, Cameron, sometimes I feel like a preacher, and in all honesty, sometimes I wonder about myself. And he said, well, me and some of the boys have been talking, and if you could ever find a little church over this way to preach in, I know we'd love to come and hear you. He said, Mom and Dad has never taken me to church. I've been to a couple funerals. Oh, Lord, right outside that classroom, I could look through the window, and I said, right there's a little red brick building right down there, and I'll meet you there Sunday morning. That little church, it was in correspondence with us. Oh, Lord, I began to pray the rest of the week. God, would you bless me, Lord? I may never get this chance again. On Sunday morning, I'm sitting here, and I seen a car pull up, and that little boy get out of that car, and that car turned and went back. And that little boy come and he sat on the back seat, and I went back to him, Brother Bill, and I said, Cameron, I appreciate you coming. He said, Daddy dropped me off, and he went back to get in bed. Oh, Lord, I began to pray harder. Lord, would you give me a few words? And you know what? If God ever blessed me that day, Brother Paul, I felt real good about it. Listen, and you know what? The next week was the last week of school. I let out for summertime. And you know what? I didn't see that boy anymore. But I'll tell you what, our associations met that summer. And you know what? They broke apart. That little red brick church, I wasn't welcome to go there anymore. But late in August, I got a little phone call from that boy. And he said, Mr. Newsom, I don't know if you remember me or not. I said, hello, Cameron. Of course I remember you. He said, would you please come back to that little church? I heard something that I want to hear more of. Boy, that was 17 years old, Brother Fred. Oh, Lord, how do you explain to a young boy that I'm not supposed to go there anymore? You know what I done? I made some excuses, and I said, Cameron, I'll call you in a few weeks. I thought I was going to find you another church right there in this neighborhood. And the very next Monday, I climbed inside my car, and I turned on the radio, and they come across with the obituary report, and that little boy's name was read off. Oh, Lord, I cried all the way in my car that day. God, if you bless me, I'm going to go where you want me to go. I'm going to do, Lord, what you want me to do. And you know what? I've been on my way like that, and I'm just waiting on a call. Oh, Lord, when he calls my name, I ain't going to be looking for Brother John. I ain't going to be looking for Mom and Dad. I'm going to have my eyes set on one man, and that man is Jesus.
Bless you, sweetheart.
I want to say that Jesus, he opened the church doors, and they've been open ever since. But you brothers go ahead and get you a song. And while the brothers is singing, I want to say that door of mercy, it hasn't been closed yet. Oh, Lord, I wonder how many people is going to say in that morning, Lord, I was that close to doing what you wanted me to do. I've got bad news for you. If Jesus is that far from your heart and death comes your way, you ain't going to heaven with me. But while the church sings, I want to say if there's anybody that feels like their home is heaven and they want to go home with us, come on home. I may not be much here from, but you wait until it calls my name. I'm going to get up and let you just wait till that trumpet blows. Where will you be? Where will you be when that trumpet blows? I feel with everything that's in my I'm coming home. You know what? I may not be much here, but I'm a child of the King, and that's good enough for me. And I want everybody